It's not too late to get into crypto. It's not too late to learn AI. It's not too late to learn blockchain, AR, VR, spatial reality. Bitcoin just hit 87,000. It's going to keep rising. It's going to have fluctuations. That don't matter. You need to be able to understand what these things are. You need to know what a DAO is, a decentralized autonomous organization, right? You need to understand the game. You need to know, like gold is another thing that I've been pushing for a long time, right? Which is why I was wearing big gold chains and things of that nature, telling people buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. None of my predictions was off. Even when I taught NFTs, you go to my Breakfast Club interview and you think about the way, and listen to the way I talk. NFTs, when I got the largest platform to do it at that time, I was 100% right about everything. It is what it is. I've been the #1 futurist and thought leader in the diaspora globally, right, for a very long time now. You know what I mean? And I can say that because it took a lot of time for these predictions to come true. But now we can look at the accuracy rate of those predictions, and I'm not perfect, of course. We get things off and we get new information, and those insights have us consistently adjusting. But we don't adjust the thesis until new information enters, right? And we change that thesis. But this is like the last year. 2025 is the last year in this cosmic cycle, right? And by cosmic cycle, I mean our solar cycles. So every 11 years, there are new solar cycles. The scientists judge those solar cycles by 11-year cycles of the sun having a maximum minimum peak of sending out solar flares to the earth. So we're now at the maximum peak going into 2025, right? And when solar flares hit earth, they have a disruption of technology, right? It has an effect on human beings and the earth, right? Based on our skin conductance, our melanin. So it affects black people and white people differently depending on differentiating melanin levels, right? That changes our patterns of breathing, right? Which changes our patterns of thinking, which changes reality. So you see shifts in movements, women's movements, technological movements, paradigm shifts, cycles that happen. Sometimes there's chaos and disorder, right? So this is the end, and we're going to go into a completely new cycle into 2026. So this is what I predict to be the last year for you to get your shit together. So it's not too late to learn because crypto adoption is still at 5%. But next year, I believe we're going to see maximum adoption levels. And then it may just be completely too late. So make sure you're getting your family prepared so it's not too late to learn. But it will be. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm glad I've been doing my part for the last, I say 7 years. Yeah, I've been doing my part. Now it's time for you to do yours for your family and yourself. And I believe that if there was any time that you realize that it's not the system, ladies, speaking to y'all, listen, you realize the system is working the way the system is designed to work. My blueprint has been a blueprint that the financial literacy community and a lot of the creators, a lot of people have been operating and running off of because I've been a futurist, meaning I've been giving them the information of the trends that are to come. And I'm so happy that people have taken advantage and listened to it, because now part of the world that we living in, I help impact and produce that aspect by listening to that inner God and let me know, right? Understanding smart contracts, history of it, papers. I mean, we put together all of it. Like when I taught tokenomics, I didn't just teach it. I taught the root of it. Tokenomics really comes from a philosophy from B.F. Skinner, right? And B.F. Skinner is essentially the reason why you got stickers when you was a kid for performance, because he mapped out a psychological study, that showed that people are incentivized to do things through reward or punishment. So when we talk about FOMO and the fear of missing out, that comes from his psychology. He was very instrumental into the modern education system in a way that is operating, right? And so here we are, in modern day, and most people are being moved by that psychology, but not understanding how. And a lot of the cryptocurrencies have been produced based on that blueprint. So not only that, we look at things like, XRP is something that will be interesting if it have his day. I think maybe when they take Gensler out, XRP is still at like 60 cents. And everybody is looking at Bitcoin right now. So I'm going to give y'all some look at. So what typically happens, Bitcoin reaches super cycle. Let's say it goes up to 100,000, right? Typically there's a psychological level it doesn't go past, right? You got inflows and outflows. And when the outflows are higher than the inflows, it's not going to continue to go up. So what happens though when people are taking that money, they either put it in, the USDC coins, right? Stable coins is what they call them, or it goes into low cap coins, right? Because everybody can afford a Bitcoin no matter what. So it's only the 1% only can afford the Bitcoin and buy a whole, but you can buy Satoshis. So what happens is that the low caps get the rest of that money flowed into them. So they start selling some of the Bitcoin. Then they start putting into the low caps. By low cap, we're talking about low capitalization, meaning that they have not reached billions of dollars of inflow, right? Some of them may be at 100,000, some might be at 10 million, but they could go up to 100 million, 200 million. So investing in the low caps is a greater opportunity. So you really want to learn how those cycles work. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, I look at it as having a portfolio. You adjust a portfolio looking at gold, crypto, stocks, bonds, whatever. Now, some people are more bullish to say, forget that. I'm just going to put mostly everything into Bitcoin, right? I would say there's no reason to not have some gold as well, because I can see gold going up still. Because as these new assets become utilized even more, I think that what's going to happen is we're going to see gold even being used more as a hedge, right? So we see numbers going up to 4,000, maybe 5,000 in the future. Who knows, right? But I remember when I first started talking about it, it was at like 2,000 something, right? That's when I started accumulating gold myself. And now it's up there, right? So, the price of a kilo, I think is like 85,000 right now. My God. But then when gold goes up, silver goes up. So you ain't even got to just buy gold. You can buy silver. So that's the thing, It's always preparing us for the future and understanding the cycles. A lot of you all understand the age of Aquarius, right? But how do you take that information, right, and the knowledge of the metaphysical shifts, and how do you turn that into investment, right? Because what you're essentially telling me is that you're thinking like an economist, essentially, or where you have a thesis about the future. But that thesis can actually make you money, and you don't even realize it. Because if you think things are going to shift, then all you have to do is put your money behind that theory, right? So if I see a lack of trust in the government, if I think that there's going to be a fall of America, right, then I have to understand what happens if this comes true. Well, if this comes true, then more people start putting their money into gold. That's a shift, right? That shifts happen. Or people, the next generation, I look at their patterns of money and we say, well, those patterns have shifted. Instead of putting into bank, right, and traditional investments such as stocks, now people are looking at cryptocurrencies. Well, if I believe that that is going to be true, we're in the age of Aquarius where new systems and new things have changed, then why don't I put my money there, right, if I am actually invested to believe that that's real? And then, so therefore, when it actually happens and one system goes down, another one goes up. The game is definitely rigged. It's not rigged to fall completely, right? Those who are the wealthiest, they are always looking to be risk adverse. They have people that is always telling them, right, what to do based on the data. So why is it that Warren Buffett got so much money on the sidelines? Maybe he says, I don't want to ride the cryptocurrency up. Maybe he says, I'll wait till we have our cycle to where things break. And then once they go down, then that's when I'm going to put my money in the game. The thing is, the market can only do two things. It can go up, it can go down, right? If it goes all the way up and it has a moment where it goes up to 100,000, right? Maybe 120, But what if that breaks dramatically and it comes down to 60 again? Will people still believe when they lost money or will they sell out? The market always corrects itself, but historically, it's going to go up more. It's going to have more days that goes up than it goes down, right? But I think that Warren Buffett going to be out of here soon anyway, and that's really going to spell the new age of the financial revolution. You know what I'm saying? Warren Buffett, he old. That boy old as hell. That boy old as the stock market. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to be around too much longer. So I think that especially his buddy died as well. So I think that that's going to mark a completely new age when some of these titans literally die off. You know what I'm saying? And the new money markets come in because the crypto bros spent a whole lot of money getting Donald Trump elected, you know. And Biden was hating on crypto, enacting his executive order, right? That's why Kamala had to try to tell black men that, look, I'm for crypto. But what she was saying essentially that we messed up, but she didn't distance herself from Biden enough because Biden was the one that was halting innovation in that particular space. And now they're talking about doing a crypto reserve, right? A Bitcoin reserve, which could definitely take it to a whole nother level if that came true. So we're going to see what happens in 2025, but I'd rather operate off my thesis, and as new information comes, then I just change my investment strategies from there.